Welcome to the Kapiti Coast, Te Waiwai, Kapiti or Tararoa ko Rangatane, a 40-kilometre stretch of beaches, dunes and estuaries on the southwest coast of the North Island that have gradually built out from the foothills of the Tararua Range. This video will focus on Kapiti's sandy beaches and dunes, how they were formed and how they work in nature. We see how we have changed them and learn how we can help restore their natural form and function and their biodiversity. The Kapiti Coast is valued for many reasons: recreation, fishing, gathering kai, aesthetic attraction, and historic and spiritual significance. Numerous pa, kainga sites and trading posts existed on the coast, and Maori middens contain moa bones as well as the usual fish and bird bones and shells. The dunes contained lakes and wetlands, which were valuable sources of food and raw materials, as well as very important routes for travel by waka up and down the coast. Well-functioning beaches and dunes provide valuable natural buffers, protecting the land from storm surges and other weather events that may cause coastal erosion and flooding. As well as this protection, there are many other benefits for a community: clean and clear coastal water, improved economic and recreation potential, increased biodiversity, and most of all, locals participating in the restoration and future planning of their own environment. We can learn to understand and work with nature to restore the dune vegetation, the natural form or shape of the dunes, and the biodiversity, or the many plants, animals, insects and microorganisms that form the ecosystem. Together we can help to look after the local places we love and help build a resilient Kapiti Coast. Let's have a brief look at the natural processes at work in this dynamic environment. Sand, the main ingredient, consists of weathered fragments of rock brought down by our rivers to the coast. Here it joins a sediment-laden current fed by several very large rivers to the north. And it also mixes with eroded sediment from the continental shelf and with pumice and shell material. The sand is carried south along the Kapiti Coast by this powerful longshore current and is washed onto our beaches by waves. Here it becomes part of a continuous sand cycle. It is blown up the beach by onshore wind, trapped by native plants to form a dune, eroded at times by high-energy storm waves, and carried offshore, where it's deposited on a sandbar. In calmer weather, returned to the beach by low-energy waves. This sand cycle, eroding and depositing by storm, sandbar, waves, wind and plants, continues endlessly and has been the norm on this coast for millennia, to and fro of the shoreline over years, decades and even centuries. The main players in this cycle are the specialised dune plants called sand binders, ko whangatara or spinifex, and pingao. During major storms, the waves erode the beach and foredune, scouring the toe of the dune, leaving a vertical scarp. After the storm, the sand-binding plants manage a self-recovery as wind-blown sand forms a low sand ramp and the plants grow down over that ramp, trapping more sand and rebuilding the dune. Rapid erosion followed by slow recovery. So this whole active area of beach and dune needs space to move to and fro. The backstop of this active cycle is a whole system of dunes, rising gently inland, with 4 distinctive zones of plant and animal communities, all adapted to increasing distance from the sea. The sand-binding zone, the ground cover zone, the shrub zone, and the forest zone. The zones show a natural succession of increasing biodiversity of both plants and animals as they move inland, gaining progressively more shelter, stability and nutrients with distance from the shore. Native fauna of the dunes include shorebirds, lizards, invertebrates that we see on land, and benthic invertebrates, those species that live in or on the tidal sand of the beach. Many are microbes, invisible to us but providing a great food source, the base of all coastal food webs, and also cycling nutrients and controlling pollution. This indigenous biodiversity will increase as the dunes are restored. Now let's look at how to approach your project area. Maybe volunteer with one of the active coast care groups already working on the Kapiti Coast to learn more. But if you, along with other enthusiastic locals, have a beach and dune area you would like to restore, make contact with Kapiti Coast District Council and talk with the Biodiversity Advisor. The advisor will assess the area and discuss with you the size and limit of the project. Good advice starts small, and the resources available from the council. Next, the council can help your group develop a restoration plan. This will describe the key issues on your site and advise on how to deal with them, such as loss of natural plant and animal life, loss of the dune shape or form, pest animals such as rabbits and hares, aggressive weed problems, and access and information signs for beach users to protect the dune. This plan will clearly identify the work needed to prepare the site before any planting. Note, any work on public land such as beaches and dunes must have council approval and a signed agreement. Whenever working on dunes, use existing vegetation, even if this cover is non-native or weed, to provide shelter for new native plants. If your restoration plan includes planting, the council will supply the plants or recommend a supplier. The plants will all be eco-sourced, that is, grown from locally collected seed and therefore suited to your coast. And now to the restoration work. First, the four-dune sand binding zone. This is the active front face of the dune, dealing with harsh nearshore conditions, extreme wind and temperature, salt spray, moving sand, and even burial. We have already seen the two specialised sand-binding native plants to use on the Kapiti Coast, Kōwhangatara spinifex and pinau. These create, grow and repair the foredune. They can be planted on bare wind-blown sand at the toe of the foredune. Plant mainly Kōwhangatara spinifex, with small clusters of pinau within. Plant about 70 centimetres apart. Make sure the hole is deep enough so the roots are buried at least 10 centimetres below the sand surface. And if using fertiliser tablets, pop 1 or 2 in each hole. It is good practice to leave any driftwood and seaweed on the foredune. These can help trap sand and also create an important habitat for katapo spiders, sandhoppers and beetles. Inland of this, the ground cover zone is the back slope of the foredune, where we see that the sandbinders peter out and are replaced by rushes and low-growing vines and shrubs. This is a slightly more protected zone and more stable, though still very exposed. Invasive grasses such as kikuyu and buffalo grass can be a problem and need to be controlled before any planting. Seek council help with this. Common species to plant for this zone: wiwi, knobby clubrush, speckled sedge, Tartare heki, sand coprosma, and pohuihui, muehlenbeckia. There are also plants that will appear naturally, such as sand windgrass, kokihi, or New Zealand spinach, piripiri, biribir, and nihi, shore bindweed. Place the native seedlings in bare sand, in clusters, using wiwi as shelter for the other seedlings. If using fertiliser tablets, pop 1 or 2 in each hole, and again make sure the hole is deep enough so that the root ball is well covered and firmly planted. The shrub zone, even further inland, consists of a number of ridges, often with low-lying wetland swales with their own specialised plant communities. This zone has increasing shelter, stability and nutrients. Weeds become much more common in this zone, and it is best to get advice and help from council. It is usually wise to avoid large-scale clearing, as existing vegetation can provide temporary shelter for native plants and help stabilise the sand. But some weeds are aggressive and need controlling or eradicating before any planting. Any herbicide spraying will be carried out by the council, but regular hand weeding is helpful around planted seedlings. The coastal shrubs that establish here are low-growing and frequently wind-shorn. The species suited to each slope can vary, depending on which direction the slope is facing. On Kapiti Coast, our most exposed slopes are the seaward or west-facing slopes, which are hot and dry. Here, suitable plants are Wiwi, knobby clubrush, Tohinu, Topata, and Olearia or coastal tree daisy. On landward or east-facing slopes, more sheltered from onshore winds, plants will include Fofopaku or five-finger, Ake, Nio, Kānuka, Karamu, and Kohuhu or Pittosporum. In swales, the sheltered low-lying troughs, which have more moisture and can be frost hollows, suitable frost-hardy plants are Harekeke or flax, Tikoka or cabbage tree, Wiwi, knobby clubrush, and Toi Toi. Throughout the shrub zone, plant in clusters, with plants about 1 metre apart, in gaps or cleared areas, with fertiliser tablets effusing and with plant guards to protect from rabbits and from wind. The coastal forest zone is the most inland and sheltered zone of the dune system. It once covered the back dunes all along the Kapiti Coast. It now occurs only in a few forest remnants. Such sites can be managed to allow natural regeneration of coastal forest over time, as pioneer species give way to forest species. Some native forest species do not naturally belong on the Kapiti Coast, such as Pohutakawa, Karo, Karaka and Hopara. With knowledge of these 4 specialised dune zones and working with nature, dune restoration is really a matter of encouraging natural recovery, helped largely by community involvement and planting, and letting time and the natural succession of plants take over. Together we can look after the local places we love, help restore the natural form, function and biodiversity to our beaches and dunes, and help improve local resilience to a changing climate. Check out these short coastal videos for more information and advice on restoration.